ball here to Trippier, who is able to get it back to Rashford, from Trippier to Rashford, back to Declan, and then all the way back to Walker, and then to Maguire, and then they will reverse all the way backwards once again. But here we are. This is a good matchup between two good sides in the Nations League and also in just world football in general. For Belgium here, we have Simon Mignolet starting at the back, the ex-Liverpool keeper who currently now plays for Club Bruges. Declan with a soft, poor touch there, but is able to regain it under control, get to play to Mount, and then a nice ball to Calvert-Lewin, who has been flourishing, absolutely flourishing under Carlo Ancelotti in Everton. So the derby will be played next week, and we will be bringing that match to you live here as well. But going through the defense here for Belgium, Belgium is also playing a back three with Denayer in the middle, Boyata on the left, and Alderweireld on the right. You have Thomas Munier sliding in at the right wing back position. You also have Alex Wissel, Yuri Tillemans, and then on the left wing back, you have Timi Kassanin. And then you have Yannick Carrasco, Kevin De Bruyne, and Romelu Lukaku up front. A little different here for England that they played during the week. They were actually going to play the back three of Eric Dyer, Maguire, and Walker. Jordan Pickford, who has been heavily criticized, is actually going to be in goal here. Mount, Henderson are going to, or no, Declan Rice and Henderson are going to be in the middle. Mount as well up top. Trippier and Arnold as the wing backs in their respective positions, and Calvert-Lewin, who has been absolutely having a field day, is going to be playing up top here. Kevin De Bruyne's going to be in here. He's going to play in a cross. It's going to be blocked from Declan Rice, and then it's going to be cleared away. Hello, James Shepard. Hope all is well with you. Welcome and good morning to where, or good afternoon to wherever you are and may possibly be. As you can see, I'm having my nice cup of coffee and enjoying waking up with football this morning here. Just going to get the want to get the team sheets and everything sorted here so y'all can see it. I can just move my head up. Okay. There's space, but not everything's perfect, so it's okay. Eric Dyer is actually playing center back from England. Yeah, Eagles Steelers is in an hour. Should be a pretty good game. Pretty excited for that one as well. The Steelers not being able to play last weekend was actually kind of a disappointment for me, to be completely honest. Which is kind of annoying, but it happens to COVID and all those things do pop up. So in these circumstances, hopefully we'll win. Hopefully we'll win. We've had 2 weeks to take a break, pretty much is the idea. Trippier is going to play in a ball here for Rashford. He's going to be on his left foot, cut back onto his right, crosses into the box. Nice cross, headed away. Mount trying to control it on the edge of the box once again. Both of these groups here, as you can see, we have the standings of the Nations League stages down here on the screen. And those are just showing the standings of both teams in their current setting. So right now, both of these teams are in a good position. Picking up these points against one another is extremely important to become the first one in the groups. They're both in the A group, which means they are technically in the elite group of the international teams. So this should be a nice heated affair between both of them. They're both trying to go out and actually win this game here. Jordan Henderson, who hasn't been able to play for Liverpool in the past few weeks, and our win percentage is 20% lower without him, actually, is playing here for England. So good to see him get a few minutes. Hopefully he's able to make it get through unscathed here. The Nations League is basically what like the Euros is, so they've replaced it and they've basically made it into like a Premier League. So you have like Group A, which is like all the big countries. Then B is all the other countries. C is other countries as well. D is other countries. So you can get promoted and relegated within your own league and move up. Once you're in A league, that's how you kind of get into actually playing for like the Euros type thing. That's how you actually go play for the competition. So it's kind of like it's its own little like tables and groups set up, but being on top of your group and winning the group is the most important thing you can do during the group stages. It's kind of something that's come in like replace the international friendlies and make it more more of a competition. I actually kind of think I like it. I kind of enjoy it. Um, Portugal won the Nations League last time for the first edition of it, so it was pretty neat. I actually liked it as a competition, and it worked pretty well. It keeps the bigger clubs all sort of together, but it also gives a chance to the smaller teams to actually be able to come up and win. A nice crossfield ball for Arnold, but it's actually going to be cut back or cut off by Munier. I think that was the PSG man. Now Maguire has come somewhat forward in front of Trippier here, and then let's go back to Rice. Rice is going to find Walker, and then Walker will find Arnold. Dyer, ball back here, and to Maguire. It should be interesting just in general as we are as kind of as a lot of the international schedules with COVID were the things to necessarily suffer, and all those competitions were the necessary sports that sort of did suffer. One of the main things that's gonna be interesting to see is like how the World Cup and all the or the UEFA, like the Euros and all that play out. It's gonna be super compact, and it's also gonna be within the kind of the same time period as as most of the leagues are going on. They're gonna have to squeeze all these games in, so it should be pretty interesting. That's why we kind of decided to start covering some of this stuff. Should be quite awesome. Alderweireld here in the back line. Getting into Boyata. They'll lose possession of the ball. And it will go back to Maguire. Maguire to Dyer. Kind of has a nice ring to it. To Walker. Walker, nice move there. On Carrasco. Maguire to Dyer once again. I'm going to get used to saying that. It's going to be really nice to be able to say. So one thing here is that is kind of difficult with international football and club football is the kind of the style of play and also quality of play. A lot of the times it's actually lower just because the teams don't actually practice that much together. They don't have that much of a type of a formation. So every time they are able to, here's an interesting crossfield ball from Henderson, one-time hit. Alderweireld's going to be able to clear it. Rashford was on the chase. Calvert-Lewin put Mignolet under pressure. He clears it away. All the way back to Mignolet for Belgium. But one of the biggest differences is, and a lot of criticisms is that the game, the quality is not as high, which is apparent just because sometimes, like I said, they're not able to practice together, not able to find each other's rhythms. They all play different at different clubs with completely different styles per se. So it is a little difficult to find some quality, but it is still very entertaining, is what I would have to say. Nice 1-2 touch play right there. Carrasco is going to be able to get into the box here. He's cutting it on his right side. He's going to get it in. The cross into the middle of the box. Lukaku! Oh, not able to get his full head on it. Munier is going to be able to come down for the chase. Trippier defending. Then all the way back to Witzel. Once again, to De Bruyne. De Bruyne pulling all the strings here as he does for Manchester City. Very similar kind of role that he's doing as well. Yeah, the other thing is people are trying to prevent injuries. A lot of players themselves don't want to have injuries and then go back to their clubs with injury. But a lot of the times clubs and the FAs are able to talk to each other and they're able to decide like how many minutes people they want to play them. Sometimes they don't have any control over it at all. Or the club just won't send their players. So those are a lot of interesting things that kind of go on with it. If a player does get injured during international break and there is insurance on the player, they are responsible for paying their wages. The club is not. Munier with a cross in the middle, and then it's going to be a goal! Yannick Carrasco is able to put Belgium ahead here with an absolute beautiful opener right here. Munier found himself open on the wing and then was able to cross the ball back, and never mind. It was offside. All the excitement down the drain here. I'm trying. Let's see the actual offside. Yep, he's offside.
Mounier is definitely offside. Something he's got to kind of look down the line himself. And PK Bosco here in chat saying Belgium on the decline. I don't necessarily think the team itself is fully on the decline. I think like you don't have the Hazards of the world's playing right now, but he hasn't also really been playing that much at all for Real Madrid. Some players are getting older, but I also don't necessarily think that what they had before was that much better. I don't think Jan Vertonghen was much better than the defense that they have right now. I mean, they had a pretty interesting idea when like Alderweireld and Vertonghen were playing like left and right back. It just didn't really make sense. It's not the greatest thing. They still have most of their kind of core unit. I would have to say Lukaku playing really well in Italy. De Bruyne still there. Alderweireld still there. Witzel in the midfield. So I think Belgium actually still has a really strong core. And I think they're going to be impressive just still moving forward and for the time being. I know there's all this talk of like their golden age, but I still think that's something that they can build on. It's not necessarily away now. And then Carrasco is going to play in a nice ball here. He's going to be in behind, plays a cutback ball to the top of the box, but rather unfortunate. Found nobody at all. England right to it. England or Belgium here with the first warning shot with the goal that was deemed offside, but that definitely woke up England themselves here to start paying attention and start playing a little harder. Witzel here will find Weir Alderweireld. It's also, I don't know why they don't have the numbers of the jerseys. I meant numbers on the jerseys and like the image below. They have them in the game, don't worry. De Bruyne is going to be here on the left, going to probably throw across in. He cuts back on his right, but really good defense once there to actually dispossess De Bruyne. A lot of knowledge there and having played each other, Arnold and De Bruyne there. This was the cutback, and this was the Carrasco shot here. And the offside actually, I don't think was actually on Mounier. I think it was actually on the player that was standing in front of Pickford. I wasn't able to necessarily see that, but I think that was mainly the problem. And then this will be called offside from their little 1-2 pass from Carrasco and De Bruyne off of the corner kick. But definitely here, Mounier is offside. He's completely onside, which is weird because the ref doesn't. Yeah, what the problem is here is the person that's in front of Pickford is technically is offside, but in the build-up to the play, Mounier himself was offside, which is kind of odd. Maguire here, chop in chat saying Maguire, yeah, he's not the greatest, I would say, not the greatest player. Where do I stand with Kane? For England, I would say he's still a 90-minute starter. I don't really think, unless Calvert-Lewin is able to hold this type of this production that he's had for Everton, which has been absolutely, I mean, as a Liverpool fan, I don't like to admit it, but I have to be honest. I mean, it is unbelievable what he's been able to do for Everton, what Carlo's been able to do there. So, I mean, if he's able to maintain that goal scoring prowess, and he also scored in the friendly, like if he's able to still do that, then yeah, you have to start him. But as where it stands right now, I still think Harry Kane's the number one striker for England, just skill wise, and a ball that Rashford tried to play in behind there for, I think it was Rice, was cut out there very well by Belgium. And now Belgium here is on the attack. Romelu Lukaku is going to be able to pick up that ball. He's going to be able to run at Dyer. He's going to get past Dyer. He's going to go all the way in the box. And then Dyer maybe did foul him. Is it a penalty? No, it is not a penalty. And now it is a penalty after he got the ball. And then, wow, the penalty was called way after. That was one of the weirdest things ever. I said Jordan Pickford ran out, picked up the ball, and then it was called a penalty. And maybe the referee heard something in his ear. Here we're going to see the replay once again. Lukaku gets his burst of pace. I mean, Dyer doesn't really get anything on the ball, and Lukaku still has it on his. He does, yeah. I think this is actually a pretty fair penalty call, to be honest with you. Lukaku basically beats by Dyer. Dyer dives in, and then, I mean, the ball's never touched. The ball's still rolling there, technically, for Lukaku to pick it up. I think that's a pretty fair. I think that's a fair penalty, honestly. I think the way where it was called was pretty weird. Bosco, what do you think about Harry Kane, kind of, where he lands, and then Lukaku here with the penalty against Pickford with the left score. Belgium 1-0. Clinical finishing there from Lukaku sent Pickford the wrong way off of what I would consider a pretty fair penalty shout and penalty call there from the referee. That run up, lots of steps with power, sends Pickford the wrong way. Beautiful play there from Lukaku. Also, respect, he got the penalty called and awarded, and he was able to take the penalty himself. This is the thing that I just don't. Dyer just doesn't actually like get any touch on the ball, and he was still shoulder to shoulder with him. There was no really need to go to ground on that position. I don't think. I think Dyer there slightly out of position. I mean, in general, he doesn't actually really play center back all that much. So maybe this is a slight change for him when he's getting beat by pace like that, and he has to put a foul into the box. So here we are. As it is, we have goals. Thankfully, this is not going to be a 1-0 snoozer here. So this is this is great in our sense. Dyer will find Arnold. Arnold plays a nice ball that actually was almost going to be cut off by a Belgian player, but nothing really panned out for that one. And then the ball will find Alderweireld, and then Belgium will take possession of the ball and try to sort of move it up the pitch here. This is Denier, and then to Boyata to Alderweireld. Belgium passing in their back three. Alderweireld plays a ball up front for Lukaku. Maguire beats out Lukaku to Manchester United. Well, actually, did they play at Manchester United at the same time? I'm not exactly sure if they did or not. But I guess you could say they were both Manchester United teammates. Yeah, PK. But I actually have a very good friend of mine that will come on. He will do the commentary, and he will be on stream for us in the Liverpool Tottenham match. But he's a very big Tottenham fan, and he always texts me every time they go on international break. He's always like, please, 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 like just Harry Kane, don't get injured, everything like that. It is a really difficult balance to play for your country and also not get injured for your club, right? And we kind of touched on that earlier in the stream. It's just a really hard, it's a really difficult balance. Me being a Liverpool fan, like watching Jordan Henderson right now, it's great and all, but I know he's somewhat injury prone, and I'd rather him just not play at all. So I mean, it's kind of like it's a hard decision, and it's hard for the player themselves as well because they have responsibilities. I mean, you as an individual should feel, I mean, in my opinion, should feel a responsibility for playing for your country. Rashford with a really bad ball, going to find Kevin De Bruyne. De Bruyne on the left. De Bruyne saved by Pickford. I think De Bruyne actually should have played Carrasco in there on his left foot. It was right there for him to play him in, and then Carrasco could have one time that easy finish. Pretty surprising, no pass there from De Bruyne, and he actually decided to take the shot. Yeah, it's a nice ball here, and then Rashford misplays it. It falls to De Bruyne right at the top of the box, and then Carrasco's in here. Walker's way out of position, just doesn't play him in, and then tries to finish with his left foot. It was a decent attempt. It was a shot on target, but I think he could have gotten a little more out of that one. I Yeah, Shepard. I actually completely agree with you as well on that one. I think that Pope is I think Pope is better, but that's just me. I think Nick Pope hasn't necessarily put a foot wrong yet, so I I don't know why you would have to necessarily like get rid of him. Then again, Pickford, he has the reputation. He's been playing well for Everton. Lukaku ends up playing the ball here. Dyer just plays it right off his chest from the clearance. Lukaku plays across in, headed away from Dyer. Carrasco picks the ball up here at the edge of the box. De Bruyne here on the right, thinking about a cross, plays a nice ball for Carrasco. Carrasco now dancing, wriggling away, blocked. Now it's going to go back to Carrasco onto his left foot, onto De Bruyne. Quick play into the box. Whistle plays the header. It's going to go for Moutier. Moutier out of behind for a goal kick. This is, I mean, England needs to get a grip on the match here. I mean, they're getting all the chances are coming Belgium's way. There is no really control in the midfield right now for England. It's almost like they're trying to play out from the back too much. It's just the lack of control and lack of stabilization for England right now is if you're an England fan is difficult to watch in my opinion. But yeah, I agree, James. Overall, I think Nick Pope. I just don't really believe that much in Pickford in general, as he sends it long here, and then it'll try to go to Calvert Lewin. He flicks the header on. and the Belgium defense does a very good job of dealing with that. Mane is the Reds' engine. Yeah, Bosco, I've been saying this for a pretty long time. I think Sadio Mane has been Liverpool's best player and is our best player for a significant amount of time. Pretty much any single time he's been in the squad or anything like that, he's our best player. He can create the most. He's our best passer. He's our best finisher. Granted, when I say finisher, sometimes he's pretty poor finishing, but I mean, he is the engine. He is the thing that unsettles the defense the whole time. So he's one of our most important, if not the most important player behind Allison and also Van Dijk. And then Henderson there with a really nice play. And then De Bruyne leaves a pretty bad one on him, which thankfully Henderson gets up pretty easily and quickly as well. So no injury possibility there. The play is resumed as both players are still fixing their socks. Here, Trippier will get it over to Maguire. Maguire to Dyer, as I've said, that little play on words or something like that is going to continue getting worse and worse. Nice ball here. Alderweireld, I think, is going to be able to deal with the ball that finds its way to Rashford. It's going to go out of play. Trippier for a throw in. Trippier actually doing pretty well over in Atletico Madrid, I would have to say. A lot of people criticized him for that move, especially an English player going over to Spain. You know, speak the language, all that type of stuff. I mean, there's always worries with that, but he actually did surprise. He's been surprisingly doing really well. I shouldn't say surprising. He's a good professional. But he's been doing well, proving some of the haters wrong. He still gets game time there for Atletico. I know he's important for the Champions League match against Liverpool. So credit to him, still adapting to a new league and still getting his England playing time as well. I mean, that's kind of the whole purpose for him, is get the playing time and to still be seen as a really good player, to be able to get into the national team and get into the World Cup squad and the Nations League squad, etc. Dyer here with a diagonal pass. He's possibly going to find Arnold. Arnold gets across in, and then I think this will go out for a corner kick off of, I think that was off of Castagna, Timothy Castagna, which is definitely an Italian that was nationalized Belgium, which is fine. Yeah, the England defense is basically two refrigerators and a madman. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I don't even think Kyle Walker's that great at defense. There's always this idea that he's like super pacey, but like for Man City, he gets exposed a decent amount of time. Granted, that is also the system they play, but I don't think he's like an all out and out incredible defender. As the cross comes in, it's going to fall to Dyer. Oh, he was almost able to get something onto that. Henderson with the back post. Trippier crosses it back over the goal. It was a good idea there. If Trippier was able to send that back over to kind of the 6-yard mark, England did have a chance there. So good move there. It was a quick cross there as well from Henderson. Yeah, I mean, Dyer and Maguire themselves just aren't the greatest defenders and don't have that much movement. Walker's the only one that has. Sorry, I had to sneeze. Walker's the only one that necessarily has that type of pace. And here, Witzel's, if he can get this ball over here for Carrasco, he may be able to have a run here at Arnold. Carrasco gets a ball in. Lukaku's on the edge of the box, taking a shot. Ooh, it's going to go out for a goal kick. That was really good hold-up play there by Lukaku in the middle of the box, and then he was able to lay it off. I think it was for Carrasco in the end, who took a shot. It was absolutely beautiful. Really good interchange and play in general from Belgium. Once again, they're absolutely dominating this as we go on. And this is the replay again. We're looking at the Carrasco goal that was deemed offside for the other player since he was out of position. I think that was Castagna in the end that was called for the infringement. Kyle Walker also is a good goalkeeper, as I think we've all learned as well. There's been moments where he's had to come on as a goalkeeper for City as well. So the long ball there from Pickford does not find absolutely any England shirt here. Mounier is going to be able to go on the run here. And then, Henderson does a really good job tracking back and taking that ball from De Bruyne. If he doesn't track back there, Belgium is in, I think, with the 4v3 onto the box. Now Henderson is going to just try to look and probe, gets it to Walker. It's also to me just really funny how most of these players all just absolutely hate each other, like in the regular like season in the leagues that they play, right? And then they have to like come here and like pass each other the ball and like try to. It's just funny to me. It's just kind of weird. Rashford on Meunier. Meunier is going to get the best of Rashford there easily. And then Trippier here is going to come in for the press, but then the ball will go back to Maguire, to what some people would consider a refrigerator. Here, Rashford, ball to Rice, back to Maguire. Maguire plays the ball for Trippier. Trippier is pretty far up the pitch here, switching positions with Rashford. Rashford plays the ball in for Mount. Mount loses possession. Good defense and good press there by Belgium. The 1-2 passing here from Belgium in the back. It's going to get from Meunier. Meunier plays it over. And then Maguire is going to get a header. Now we're just kind of playing a volleyball. It's just going everywhere at this point. Toby gets it under control. He's going to get a clearance out. It will find Lukaku's feet. And then it eventually will go back to Alderweireld. And then now we finally have the ball up with Castagne on the left. Oh, that's Tielemans. 8 is Tielemans. Sorry. I may have been missaying his name. Here, Belgium, comfortable to play the ball. Paul, play the ball back out here, and one live cool. Thank you very much. Appreciate the comment there on the commentary. Thank you very much. The first England sub. I think it may be a little too early to call for the first England sub, but I can't tell if it's a more of a formation issue right now, or it's like the midfield itself just isn't actually able to get any possession or hold the ball up against, because we've never actually seen England have like the ball in the final third and really try to create something like Belgium is doing here. Lukaku has the ball at his feet, dictating where he wants to play. Ball's going to go to Castagne. Castagne is not able to get it. Arnold does a good job cutting it out. I didn't say Van Dijk. Oh. Yeah, he does it. I think that's definitely a mistake in the thumbnail. He doesn't. I know he does it. Yeah, I know he plays for. I know he plays for the Dutch. I'm a Liverpool fan, so I know he doesn't play for Belgium. Don't worry, it's wrong. We're doing the Dutch. We're doing the Dutch versus Italy match on Wednesday, so that's probably why there was confusion on that. So I guess it's already set up. All we have to do is just change the flag. But we are going to do the Nations League match between Dutch and the Italians. I have to say, I have kind of find myself more leaning with the Italians. It is kind of my um, not home country, but it is kind of where I'm sort of from, right? Any links for the match? I don't have any links for it in the US. You're able to find this on ESPN Plus. Other than that, sportsurge.net's always good. There's a bunch of other things that you can find, other links just around, if you don't mind not having ads and everything like that. That's going to be one of the first fouls, I think, pretty much of the match. Except I actually do think that was probably one of the first fouls other than the penalty that was awarded against Dyer in the entire match. It's one of the only stoppages that we've had so far. Pretty kind of fluid match in general. Yeah, good point about the awkwardness. Yeah, James, that was one of the weirdest things ever. The Sterling and Gomez incident was just odd, to be 100% honest with you. I just don't. I think it's so weird. I try to put myself in the position of like, if I'm a Liverpool player and I'm going against City, these are the people that have been not my rivals, I'm going to say, but the people that have been trying to knock off the perch for so long. I'm sure there's so much trash talk that's going on between the teams, and then you have to like put everything aside and then go and like try to win a cup together. It's just so odd, and I do think a lot of teams like that's why I think that's another reason to why a lot of individual people will say that the quality of football and just the general quality of play in international football is way less. I think it's also because the teammates don't really have that much chemistry together because they're actually teammates that don't really like each other to begin with, right? So it's kind of like it's pretty difficult to kind of make that it's hard, right? If you don't like each other as teammates, it's like how are you going to pass each other the ball and have a good chemistry? Trippier here going to get it to Rashford. Henderson makes a nice run. Rashford looks away. Then Rice is going to get it back up for Walker here. A little too narrow, I would have to say, from England here. Rashford needs to get the wing backs to stretch out Belgium here. They finally do get it to Trippier, and then Rashford will still be on the wing, get it to Henderson. They're playing a little triangle here. Henderson with a nice deep cross is going to go to the back post. Calvert-Lewin, it's going to go off at the top of his head, and it's going to go out of play. LJ Smith, yeah, Dyer had a absolute debacle in the box. It was, I could walk you through it. It was basically a Romelu Lukaku and Dyer one-on-one down on the right wing. He basically sprinted and got the ball past Dyer. Dyer didn't even need to go to ground. Dyer ended up slide tackling in the box, missed the ball, and ended up pretty much just getting Lukaku. And then Declan Rice goes straight into the back of Alex Witsel right there, and he's going to pick up a yellow card. Speaking of not many fouls, but that was I mean, Rice here is pleading with the referee that he got the ball, and here we're going to see the replay, him going into the back of Witsel. Either way, yeah, I would have to say Rice does get some of the ball, but he does go through the back of Witsel. I'm not going to say that I think that's a foul. I think typically when you get the ball, it's typically not a foul, but he did go through the back of him as general FIFA rules and general football rules at this day and age. When you do get the foul, or when you do go through the back of someone, you typically will have the foul called. And then 1 second. Baseball fights are probably the dumbest altercation in sports. Yeah, Bosco, I do agree with that. I would have to say, 100%. Baseball fights are weird because I don't understand. Also, when playing baseball, like the actual communication that you have between pitcher and batter. When like you throw the ball at the batter, it's like, what is this for? Just for me hitting a home run, or is there something personal going on? But either way, here Henderson's going to pick up the ball at the halfway mark. He's passing it to Rashford. This is kind of what I had touched upon before, how like England has not really had that moment to bring the back kind of play football with into the Belgium's final third. It's they really haven't had that type of control, and the midfield hasn't had that much possession to be able to do that. Finally, here England trying to build up some play here, but then right as they did that, Walker plays a long ball to Arnold, and it's cut out by the England players. Simon Mignolet has a little trouble on that one, but he's able to get it out from under his feet. Falls to Trippier, and then Henderson's going to be on the edge of the box. He's going to get it to Rice, and then from Declan Rice, he's going to find, I think that's Mount in the top right. Yep, Mount goes backwards all the way for Walker. Walker is under pressure here. Carrasco putting up under that pressure. Dyer here looking and probing. I think the problem, I don't know if this is how they're purposely playing, but I feel like when they played this back three and then they only put two in the midfield, you pretty much just have the pivots and the cogs of Henderson and Rice to be able to pass to the right and left flanks, right? And that's how you kind of play the 4-2-3-1, or if you play like a 3-5-2, you typically have those midfielders sitting in front of the center back so they can play those balls. Calvert-Lewin with a really nice turn here, and Alderweireld's going to be going down the left. He's going to get across in. It's going to be blocked, and it's going to go out for a corner for England here. But I think one of the biggest differences is that on those pivots, they actually don't have the individuals to be on the wings. Like Arnold and Trippier are supposed to be there as outlets to be able to move the ball forward. And I don't think they're necessarily there, or it's just a little too slow. But Calvert-Lewin on his absolute hot streak here is able to get the corner here for England. 10 minutes to go in this half. Trippier here with the corner. Easy for Simon Mignolet. He's going to roll it out for Carrasco. Maybe the break is here. Carrasco gets by Arnold. It's 3v4, 3v5 now as Trippier sprints all the way back. Now, De Bruyne tries to play a ball back and then just plays it right off of an England player's head there, and it ends up going all the way back to Jordan Pickford. But there you were able to see the quickness and the actual direct play from Belgium, being able to get it up the pitch just off of that corner kick there. Trippier here is going to play a little ball here for Rice. Trippier, and we're in a little triangle, but now the ball goes back to Dyer, to Maguire, then back to Trippier. Because the problem is, I'll explain it. This long ball here out to Calvert-Lewin. It seems like the long ball up top is the only outlet ball and way that England really has that much of a way to get forward and to actually put Belgium under pressure. Here, Trippier's going to have a lot of space here. They have to use this. Trippier's going to go on the overlap for Rashford. Rashford's going to cut back inside, puts his hand up as in, I don't know who to pass to, and continues to keep his hand up and finally finds Rice. Rice back to Henderson. Henderson with a nice ball there to Mount. And then Mount cuts back. Now it's to Rashford. Henderson right on the line. Rashford's going to dive in. He's going to keep going, driving forward. Alderweireld gets a foot in. And then it's going to be tried to be cleared by Meunier. Falls back to Rashford. Rashford with a nice crossover. And then Alderweireld out for a goal or a corner kick for England. Once again here, Kieran Trippier with the corner to take. Here, hopefully, maybe I don't necessarily know who I'm necessarily rooting for in this one, but I would like to see Jordan and them get a point, get some points here. It's also hard for me to kind of like root for the teams because you also don't like half of the players on it, right? Because they're like your rival team, which is kind of funny. And then a nice clearance and header away there. And then Maguire wasn't able to get it on the end of it, but the young defender from Belgium is able to get his head on it, and it's going to go out back for another corner for England here. I think it's going to be, is it Trippier again who takes it on the right and left sides? Interesting. All right, he takes the same ones. He takes the same corners, so credit to him there. Trippier once again here for the corner kick. A lot of thumbling and tumbling in the box. And then there's going to be a yellow card here in the box, and Meunier is going to be carded, which means it's a penalty for England. Hold on here. We got to see the replay. Meunier and Henderson. And then Meunier just kind of pulls on Henderson. Henderson definitely makes the most of it. I'm not going to say the Liverpool captain did not embellish that pull a little bit, but the arm does go over Meunier, and then he gets it on the back of his shoulder the second that contact is made, and he pulls him back. Henderson goes to ground. Not going to say necessarily it wasn't soft or anything, and he didn't embellish it and try to con the ref. He definitely did, and he does get the penalty awarded. He does not take the penalty, but Marcus Rashford is here to take it against Simon Mignolet to tie it for England. Marcus Rashford. Rashford, slow walk up, takes it, finishes. Send Mignolet the wrong way. It is 1-1 here. It is a game of penalties, and it is game from the spot. And we are tied 1-1 with 38 minutes here played in the first half. I would have to say this penalty I agree with a little less, but a really nice finish there from Rashford. Even if Mignolet goes the right way, I think he's not getting to that one. The height is above the goalkeeper and it's up into the side netting. But here's going to be the pullback here. Henderson has a clear run into the box. And then he gets, Meunier just literally I don't even know how to show it. Just literally puts his shoulder right here and just gives a small tug. That small tug sends Henderson straight to the ground. Granted, it may have been the contact or not, but there it is. And then that is the penalty. The match is tied 1-1. And then Lukaku here, Belgium's going to be right back to it. Lukaku gets a nice ball up here for Carrasco on the edge of the block. Carrasco with the right foot, he sends it, and then Henderson blocks. Back to Alderweireld. Also, if you're enjoying the commentary, chat, or anything like that, please feel free to drop a follow on the Twitch side, subscribe on the YouTube side. If you're enjoying the content, we're going to be doing the Italy and the Italy-Dutch match, which is what the thumbnail is supposed to be for with Van Dijk. So apologies for that mistake, but we'll be doing that game at 2:45 on Wednesday as well, Eastern time. So drop a follow or a sub if you're enjoying the content. Always want to be notified when we go live. Here the ball is played back from Meunier, back to Mignolet. Ball up here for Castagne, and then to Nair, the Boyata to Alderweireld. Alderweireld looking, gets it to his compatriot, Kevin De Bruyne. De Bruyne with a diagonal ball all the way to find Carrasco and finds it directly at his feet. That was an incredible ball, but a poor touch there from Carrasco, and then a almost Arnold got a foot into England to regain the possession there. De Bruyne with the ball finds it's Carrasco. Nice flick backwards. Lukaku has the ball under his feet, gets it out to Munier. Munier plays a ball from Carrasco, and then Carrasco is going to play a cutback ball that was supposed to go to Munier, but he didn't at all. And it seems like somebody left. I wasn't able to see who left the tackle or actually ended up hitting Carrasco, but it seems as he's injured down on the byline over there, but he's out of play. Castagne is able to pick up the ball here. He's going to get it back to Denier to Yuri Tillemans, the Leicester City player. Toby Alderweireld once again with the ball. Now Witzel. Still haven't seen a picture of, or haven't seen Munier back onto the pitch. Hopefully he's okay and he's continuing to play. Still haven't seen him. There he is. He looks okay. Munier plays a hard ball that I think it was for Lukaku, not Carrasco. Carrasco got in front of it. And here maybe England can do something on the break. Walker in the midfield ends up playing it back for Henderson. And then England's break is sort of caught out here. Belgium is back in defense. I have to say the front line, like the front three of Belgium and also the midfield has done a really good job of being able to cut off the actual supply from the defense to the midfield to even connect the attackers to the midfield. So they've done a really good job of cutting off any sort of supply line from England to the front, unless it's been a long ball. The only thing we've really seen that's gotten England to move forward is a long ball, very different from Belgium. And here Lukaku is going to be on the edge of the box, plays a really nice back heel for Carrasco. Carrasco takes a hit. Oh, he should have scored. He pulled that so wide, and he had the goal absolutely gaping. It is a ball that kind of just drops for Lukaku. He has Maguire on his back. Dyer's playing him on side, and he just back heels it to to Carrasco, and Carrasco just pulls it. He just pulls it so bad. Maybe if he didn't move to China for 300 for all the millions of dollars, and he stayed in, one of the top leagues, he would have finished that one. But hey, to each their own, Money is money. Thank you for the follow very much. One Live Cool. Really appreciate it, my friend. Thank you. Hope you're enjoying the commentary, hanging out and chat with us. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. How are Belgium not pulling this game away from England? Yeah, 100%. And here, hold on. Rashford's going to be at the edge of the box, cutting inside. Rashford gets a ball in for Arnold. It's a poor ball though from Rashford, and it's going to be a turnover here for England. Castagne doing a little dancing in the box. I would say that if I was the coach, I'd be like, "Oh, please don't do that." And then Maguire. James, we'll get to that. We'll get to that comment at the halftime break. We're almost there, and it'll pretty much be the topic of conversation throughout most of the halftime. Walker asking for the ball quicker from Dyer, and I have to say I don't disagree with him. England needs to move the ball quicker here. I think that's sort of one of the biggest problems as well. They're just more stagnant. That was a really poor ball from Declan Rice and a turnover right to Lukaku, and the Lukaku is just going to push him off. And the Lukaku again with the back heel. That's two back heels in a row to De Bruyne. De Bruyne finds Munier, back to De Bruyne, to Witzel. Witzel to Munier to De Bruyne. This is beautiful play here from Belgium. Oh, and the cross in is cleared out by Dyer. Almost was in there to be able to get the tap in. I mean, this interchange in play from Belgium is absolutely lights out. It's like watching club football, honestly. It really is. But when you have these players like De Bruyne playing in these balls and Munier just putting it into space, I mean, the players have the intelligence and have the brains to be able to run into that space. Sometimes it's not necessarily just about. And then a really bad turnover there from England that falls to Tillemans, and Tillemans tries to play Lukaku in first time, but he was already offside. Pickford drops it down to Kyle Walker here. Jordan Henderson. Henderson will get the ball back to Maguire, and then Maguire will get the ball up here to Trippier. Long ball here. Castagne does a really good job on the defense there on Rashford. Alderweireld gets it to Munier. The ball between him and Trippier. Trippier fighting with Witzel. Witzel gets it under control. Back to Munier. Munier plays a crossfield ball all the way to Carrasco, but Arnold there is able to get his head on it. Also, you have to think for players like Alexander Arnold, someone that plays in a system like Klopp's, the right back is completely a different position in this England system than it is in Klopp's system. It's night and day, and you have to say that for a lot of these players as well, especially playing in the England shirts. They're not necessarily out of position, but they're just not in their typical position here. Maguire plays a ball here for Trippier. Nothing to it. Maguire plays the ball back all the way to Dyer. And here we'll go to the halftime. There was only 1 minute at added time. Rashford with the penalty or with the goal from the penalty spot, along with Romelu Lukaku finishing and putting away his goal and his penalty as well. It is tied 1-1 at the break here. I'm really excited for the second half here. I think it's going to be a really good one as we are able to see a lot of shots on target, and we were able to at least get 2 goals in the match here as well. Now, comments from James Shepard here, I would definitely have to agree with him. Belgium have more shots on target. And Lee Walton here on the YouTube side, 3 right backs in the international of England's stature is an absolute joke. Yes, I completely agree with that. And I think that we're actually having a conversation that on the Twitch side of things, people were saying in chat that basically the defense for England is 2 refrigerators and 1 madman. And yeah, I completely agree. Like when you're playing a back 3, you like personally, I don't think Kyle Walker does a really good job like fitting into that back 3 at all. I mean, he's not. He's a right back. And also, as we spoke about, like playing in Pep's system, playing as right back in that system, I mean, it's night and day to what he's doing here in an England shirt. So I do agree with you. I think England, in my opinion, should end up just moving to a back 4 and play it that way. I think when they try to play these wing backs, they get into just weird scenarios. And as you see here, the back 3 with the wing backs, it doesn't allow England any control in the midfield at all because the wingbacks are way too far up the pitch. The wingbacks themselves can't even get the ball because you have the Belgium front 3 and also the Belgium midfield sitting on the England midfield, so they can't get the ball. And the pivots, the 4-2 or the 2, as in Declan Rice and Henderson, can't actually spread the ball because they have the Belgium attackers and also the midfielders literally sitting on them the whole time. So the wingbacks never get the ball. So you're basically removing the whole point of basically trying to play that back 3 as of right now. Very Dawes TV, hello, how are you doing today? So yeah, Lee Walton, I completely agree with you. I think the England selection for this go around is not necessarily the greatest it could be, but I agree. And Belgium. So originally the question is how is Belgium not pulling this game away from England look the better side? I 100% agree with this. One of the big things I would have to say, I mean, England's got a little lucky here. Munir was definitely offside in the build-up to the first goal that was called offside, but he was not actually called for that offside. The offside call that got rid of that goal was Castañes in front of Pickford, which, to be honest with you, didn't really affect the play. And then that goal was called back. So that's one. Then the ball from Lukaku's goal, good goal, fair goal. Dyer totally fouled him, and it was a penalty. And then also you had the Carrasco goal with the back heel from Lukaku, which absolute beautiful play and interchange. I mean, he was right there, and he just pulled the shot. I mean, it was a terrible shot. He should have scored. If Belgium were more clinical, they should be up 3-1, 2-1 easily. I mean, they've been getting way more shots in the box. They've been dominating possession. They've been more in England's final third than England has even been in Belgium's final third. To be honest with you, I think England right now is pretty lucky to have this at 1-1. I mean, the penalty that was called against Henderson, I mean, Henderson embellished it. I'm not going to lie. I mean, he's my club. I'm a Liverpool fan. He's my club captain, but I'll call him out on this one. He totally embellished it. I mean, there was a pull from Munier on his shoulder, but it really wasn't like that bad. There's so much contact in the box and corner kicks. Like, come on. Like, give me a break, you know? But I mean, he conned the ref and they got the goal, which I mean, I would say this is a very favorable scoreline right now for England based on the way that they're playing. I don't think they've been playing that well. If you were Southgate, what would you change at halftime? See, that's the interest. That for me is kind of like the interesting part for me. I don't, because you look at the pitch right now, and in my sense, and kind of what I was saying, I don't think you fully switch it from a back 4. Like you don't do the switch right now. You don't really do that in the middle of the game. But I do think adding something else in the midfield, Like maybe you switch it to the back four and actually put Arnold into the midfield, or you take someone off for what you would do is almost switch Walker or take Walker off, have have Trippier slot in at left back, have Arnold slot in at right back, and then put somebody else in the midfield. Add in some more midfield prowess is what I would have to say. I mean, if you're just looking at the, I was trying to find the subs, and now I just ruined this entire screen, didn't I? Yeah, I did. It's okay. But I just don't necessarily think that. I think the change is more of a formation change, if that makes sense. I think it's more of a tactical switch. I don't think it's as much as the players themselves, because every single time the England does have a shot, or have actually gets the ball into the final third of Belgium, it's actually England playing a long ball. And a lot of people would actually say that's what Liverpool does. They always call us the long ball team, which is fine. I don't mind that at all. But we always get chirped for playing all those long balls as well. So in that sense, I think the biggest thing here for England would be to, I think you got to switch up the midfield. The midfield's getting just absolutely bypassed. Maybe I haven't seen Mount in the game at all. I mean, he's playing technically like somewhat forward, but he's been non-existent. If there's someone that's had absolutely no impact in the game, I would have to say Mason Mount. Maybe it's where he is positionally, or maybe the problem is that they can't actually get him the ball, right? Like through the midfield, as I was explaining earlier with how Belgium's playing it. So I mean, as someone I would take off, I would consider taking Mount off, and I would also consider maybe switching to the back three and also just getting more control in the midfield, because they've just been absolutely bypassing the whole thing. It hasn't necessarily been it hasn't been. It's just been an ugly game for them, if that makes sense. But I think where they are in the scoreline is great. I think England actually could totally come away and win this one as well. I mean, there is that, like, yes, Belgium is dominating it, but at a certain point, I mean, anything necessarily can happen, as we saw it, and England still sometimes is getting their chances. I mean, there have been those long balls that do go in behind, and there is somewhat of a chance created, or from the corners, they've had more corner kicks. I mean, there are these chances, there are these possibilities to actually score these goals. So England's still in it. I wouldn't necessarily say, but as the flow of play has been going, I would have to say that it's going in the flow of Belgium, and they definitely have the advantage moving forward. But I still think England here is in it. If they maybe make a possible change here, maybe shore up the midfield, and also maybe switch something else in the attack, just because I haven't really seen Mount really get that involved. Calvert Lewin's been doing all right up front. He's gotten the balls down. He's been able to hold up the possession as well. Basically, the most important things that he necessarily needs to do there. But it should be it's rather fascinating kind of like international match. I don't, because so to give a little background on this too, is like we typically do Premier League matches. I typically do most of the Liverpool matches. So I don't actually have that much experience calling international football. I've watched a lot of it, but I don't actually have that much experience like actually calling it. So I don't, so sometimes it's harder to understand like what's going on through the manager's head in this situation. Like, is this actually a good result? Because if I'm viewing this from the club result, if I'm like England and say like you're quote unquote a club and you're looking, I'd be like, this is awful. Like, this is like absolutely like just terrible, and we need to make changes right now at the 45-minute mark. But then again, if you like view it, maybe Southgate views it more like kind of hands-offy, like international football, like understood. But I mean, this game's still important. I mean, England needs to. They I don't know why they wouldn't want to, but they should want to top their group. I mean, they should want to come out and beat Belgium here. So I, in that sense, I think it should be totally going. Big things here, just a few things that we want to catch up with on results and scores around the world. So hold on. I don't know why this isn't popping up. Formula One today raced at Eiffel, which is the Nuremberg ring. Lewis Hamilton came in first, followed by Max Verstappen in second. The gap was around 4 seconds. Then Daniel Ricciardo, doing really well this season, was only around 10 seconds behind Verstappen. So Lewis Hamilton wins this one somewhat easily with the Red Bull right on his tail. Perez and Carlos Sainz round out 4th and 5th. Then Pierre Gasly, Leclerc, 6 and 7, Hulkenberg, Grosjean, then Giovinazzi, Giovinazzi. There we go. Sorry. And then the Ferraris end up in 7th and 11th. So tough season so far going for the Ferraris. But here, Lewis Hamilton once again takes the win in the Nuremberg Ring. Overall, one of the most glorious tracks. Was considering doing that, and I think we will at some time go. I think at some point we will start doing Formula One races. It's just kind of difficult with the timing of the races. This one was something that we could have done weren't necessarily prepared for it, but I think at some point we actually will want to start doing the F1 races. There's a lot of things with like graphics and other things that I'm still sort of working on, but we want to start doing the Formula One races. I think that would be kind of cool. Because it's more like live, and every time I watch the race, I think it's awesome. The problem for me when I watch Formula One is that I think the commentators that already do Formula One are really good. Like they're spectacular. So it's like really hard for me to like think I can possibly do better. Or like somebody would want to come watch it if that sort of makes sense, because the Formula One commentators lights out. They're incredible, in my opinion here. But so that is just the update from the Formula One world. At some point, Real Life Sports, we will try to be bringing that to you. The other thing that did happen today, believe it or not, over in France, we have Rafael Nadal beating Novak Djokovic in actual straight sets to win the French Open. Nadal won the first set 6-0, then the second set 6-2, and then the final set 7-5. So rather not sure if anything necessarily happened to Djokovic, but a rather odd score line for Djokovic and Nadal that typically go pretty well. I mean, they typically play out each other for 4 or 5 sets. This one taking it pretty quickly. The prize money for Nadal will be 42 million. Or that was from 2019, but he definitely is making the dough off of that race, I would have to say. Going to take a quick restroom and bathroom break, and then we will be back for the second half. I have to chat rules by saying BRB. Quick restroom. All right. We'll be back with the second half. All right. Let's get it here for the second half. Should be underway here momentarily. Thank you everybody for sticking around on the stream. Really do appreciate it. It was always a joy to do these matches with all of you and hanging out and chat and everything. You guys make it all the best and super special as well. So thank you for that. Here we're gonna hopefully get this second half underway here. The kickoff was at 12, and there was only 1 minute of added time. So right now it's 101, which means probably about 60 seconds or so we should be getting the start here. Big things to see here is actually if Gareth Southgate decides to make any changes into the match. It, as we discussed in chat, very Dio's TV here actually is going to predict a 2-2 for this one. I actually do think there are going to be a lot more goals in this match. I mean, be 1,000% honest with you. I mean, Belgium had chances; they didn't take their chances. So, in that sense, I think there are goals to be had here, and there are more goals to go as well. So I think a 2-2 draw is a pretty decent prediction. I would have to say for this. I do think Belgium and how it's going, I think they should win, but I'm gonna weirdly call out that I think this will be a draw. I think England will somehow find a way to keep it a draw, if that makes sense. Maybe not necessarily through play, maybe it's by luck, maybe it's by something else, but I think England will somehow find a way to keep this match close and keep it going. So I definitely going to be a really exciting second half as you see Jack Grealish and Jadon Sancho there on the bench, who I would actually think, going back to Lee Walton's comments in YouTube chat, I do think having someone like Grealish or Sancho to get on the pitch would be really good. I think actually removing Mount in for Grealish would be fantastic for this, completely, in my opinion. Just really hasn't gotten much possession of the ball. And I don't think there are going to be any changes here as we have Rashford to start us off here for the second half of the UEFA Nations League group stage match between England and Belgium. Dyer with the ball, and the possession will get it up to Maguire. Maguire to Rice. All the way back to Dyer. Dyer thumps this one forward, looking for Mount, then will be called offside. Munier with a quick... Wait. No, that's Castagne. We switched sides. Never mind. That's not Munier. Sorry. Castagne with the ball back all the way to Mignolet. Now this one's going to go up for Munier. He tries to play a ball into Kevin De Bruyne's feet, but was not able to. I lied. That was Toby. Toby did it. And then Toby plays the ball all the way back here for Simon Mignolet, and Denier will get the ball out here on the left and get it to Castagne. Castagne, ball in, Tielemans. Tielemans probably going to get it to Witsel. No, he gets it over to Alderweireld. Belgium moving up the pitch further to put more pressure on the England side here. This is the one thing that England's not able to do, is actually get the midfield and ball, pass the ball around, move the Belgian defense. This is what Belgium's been able to do. So we'll see if they're at Tielemans here. Tielemans passes it, and it's one pass, and it's right by the England midfield. And then Munier here. Oh, the ball in for Lukaku was so close to his feet, but it was just off. If he was able to hold that up and possibly turn, he could have gotten a goal. Maguire's going to get possession, though, and he'll regain the possession. Kyle Walker. Walker's going to just take the space in the midfield there and then play a ball to absolutely nobody, and Toby Alderweireld will pick it up. That was awful. And then Alderweireld plays a pretty poor ball, and Henderson cuts it out. So not the greatest quality in those last few possessions. Henderson here is making a run right as he pulled up to stop making the run is when Rashford hit the ball ahead from him. So that turns out to turnover. Mignolet put under pressure there, does a really good job. Ball out here to Munier. Back to Alderweireld. All the way back to Mignolet. Denia. Castagne. Denier gets the ball over to Alderweireld. Crossfield ball here looking for Carrasco. It won't find him. It will find Pickford only from the head of Walker. Pickford deciding and figuring out what he wants to do here. Drops it off to Dyer, then drops it off to Maguire. Maguire with a Interesting move there. Gets past Lukaku. Calvert-Lewin's able to get the ball flicked on for Rashford. England's in here, 3v2. Rashford one on him, out in the middle. You also have Arnold in the corner. He cut back. All the defense is there. Calvert-Lewin takes a shot. And that one will end up in the sky. Hey, James Shepard, take care. Thank you very much for hanging out with us in chat. Always, it's a pleasure. Thank you. The Real Life Sports Crew will be having the NBA the finals tonight. So stick around for that or come hop in. The finals should be on the stream 100% tonight, either on the YouTube or Twitch side as well. So. Trippier fighting there with Mounier. Pickford decides to cut back onto his left foot, which made it more risky, to be honest with you. But Calvert-Lewin there is able to get almost a touch there, complaining about a push from the Belgian player onto his back, but it will stay with Belgium. Mounier would throw here. He's looking around, confused. Nobody's moving. Gets it to Lukaku. Lukaku just gets cut off by Maguire there. Nice little interchange and passing there from Rice to Henderson back to Dyer. And then Dyer passes it all the way back up to Rice. Here, England is able to get more involved here. They've made a switch to kind of bring the other players in deeper here and get it to Calvert-Lewin's head and work more off of that. Tielemans with the ball in the midfield here for Belgium, and he's can be able to take some few steps forward to move Belgium further up the pitch. Finds Castagne. To Nair. To Boyata. Up to Alderweireld. Back to Boyata. Boyata then passes to Alderweireld at the top of the pitch. Then to Lukaku. Then to Witsel. Then a poor pass that's cut out by Kyle Walker. Then possibly here, England's on in the possession if they're able to go on the turnover. Calvert-Lewin sends Boyata to the floor. Trippier, Lewin. Now the ball goes back to the midfield, and England will try to probe here. The attack and the counterattack was thwarted quite quickly with Belgium getting back on defense very quickly into their set here. Ball will find Dyer at the midfield line. Then it'll find Walker. Walker to Arnold. Rice. Rice over to Henderson. Henderson. Henderson to Rice. Rashford. Henderson. To Trippier, then to Maguire, then back to Rice, then back to Walker. Something that we did see earlier in the match. Apologies for the yawn. The ball is cut out there by Tielemans. Very good job. And then Tielemans plays a really nice ball there for De Bruyne, but he loses possession on the halfway circle right there. There was a possibility for an attack if De Bruyne was able to turn outfield and look for Lukaku and also Carrasco, who were both making fabulous runs. Ball here, Dyer. England taking more possession of the ball. This is the one thing that I had talked about that they weren't doing that I think definitely was talked about by Southgate at the halftime. Just kind of more probing, more possession, and then throw these long balls in as they just did there. Mount ends up on the end of this one, the one that was for Arnold. Henderson's going to play a ball here in behind all the way for Trippier. It's going to find Trippier, go right back into the box. Calvert-Lewin's not able to do anything. It's still going away. Arnold, it's off. It's off of the Belgian player. It's going to be a corner kick there for England. England now turning up the pressure for Belgium. I don't think. I guess he's nothing there at all on the foul for Calvert-Lewin or anything. Totally did Dyer play that well. No problems there at all with the refereeing, in my opinion. I think that was fair. Especially after the first one off of Henderson. I feel like you'd have to give something really bad at this point. Trippier with the fifth corner from England. Sneeze again. Hopefully the corner will go first. Corner in, finds Maguire. Dyer gets a head on it. Doesn't go anywhere necessarily. The ball's cleared out here for Kyle Walker. Kyle Walker throws it back into the box. It's just going up and down. Now Henderson, and then ball gets out to Carrasco, and then Carrasco is fouled by Trippier, who is trying to stop the breakaway. Good job there. Possibly going to see a yellow card. No, the referee doesn't give him the yellow card. And then Witzel wants to gets the show on the road. Rashford cuts it off. The ref does not give him a card, just gives him a slight talking to. Denayer back to Boyata. Alderweireld to De Bruyne, who finds himself here on the right and then tries to play a pass that's cut out. That was a poor pass. It was cut out by Lewin. Rashford holding the ball up, gets it to Walker. England here go forward. Henderson to Rashford. Nice interchange. Mount on the right. He's going to be able to cross that back in, and then it's going to go off of Denayer, I think it is, for another England corner. This is now the 6th England corner. England ramping up the pressure here on Belgium. Belgium has sort of fallen into this sort of just not parking the bus, but they're sort of falling into this counterattack game, which is not necessarily where they really should be. Now the ball in here from Trippier. We're going to see it once again. I think this is the 6th or 7th corner here for England. Ball in here for Trippier. Decent cross, beats the first man. Lewin runs onto it, and I think he plays it off of a Belgian player. No? No, he does not. It will be Belgium's possession of the football here. I thought the ball in here, Lewin gets a head on it. No, I think it actually doesn't go off of the Belgian player. Great call from the referee. Calvert-Lewin does get a head to it, but it does go out of bounds. Here, Boyata gets the ball up to Alderweireld, and then Boyata back to Mignolet, the ex-Red, playing in goal for Belgium. Alderweireld back to Boyata. Then to Mignolet. As you see Harry Kane warming up on the bench, stretching out that hamstring of his, the extremely important hamstring for Spurs and England. Here, a long ball here is going to play diagonal. Walker has to deal with it, and then he'll play kind of almost maybe should have been a back pass to Pickford. But he does end up clearing away with his foot, so it is kosher at that point. It's totally fine. De Bruyne picks up the ball, who's had kind of a tough half year. He's been dispossessed a few times, and he's had a few of his passes cut out here. Maybe they've been a little slow, but they've been a little more on it to basically just cut out or get Kevin De Bruyne out of the game, because most of the game and everything that was flowing for Belgium was through KDB. Castagne, ball in for Tielemans. Tielemans turns upfield to push the Devils forward. De Bruyne running at the defense. Nice ball. Gets to Lukaku. Castagne passes to Tielemans on the edge of the box. Tielemans still looking. Gets it to Carrasco. Carrasco on the left. Holds the ball up. Passes to De Bruyne. De Bruyne's thinking. Gets it to Castagne. Nice ball in behind. Castagne just plays it through him. And then Castagne, Walker, really good defense to get there one step right before him. But Castagne had a beautiful move to get right around Arnold there. Fantastic cover from Walker, or England, I think, was definitely in trouble. Yeah, he just passes. He actually megs it, puts it right between Arnold's legs there. And then I think it actually did going off of Castagne, unfortunately. So even better defense there from Kyle Walker. And then Arnold will throw and then get the ball to Dyer. Dyer to Maguire. Maguire all the way to Kieran. And then England will try to play off from the back here. Trippier back to Maguire. So the game's still even here, but England definitely taking the better chance and having way more chances than Belgium here in the second half. England definitely have turned it around here. We'll be interested to see what Gareth Southgate does with the changes. Arnold here is going to be able to run onto this one. No, Mount is, and then Castagne does a really good job of clearing that one away. Walker comes back and is able to keep the possession for England. Henderson in the midfield gets it all the way back for Dyer on the halfway line. Dyer then pushes the ball right back up to Walker. Then it goes up to Mount. Mount struggling to keep possession, then keeps a leg in and fouls Castagne. The referee plays advantage, gets the ball to Witzel. And then Belgium will try to take possession and also move the ball up the pitch. Tielemans plays a pass that ends up falling to the feet of Witzel, who continues to fight for it, then goes to Lukaku, who turns Maguire, and the ball finds Munier. Lukaku definitely getting the best of Maguire, and it seems as if Lukaku's injured here with his hip. Seems to be okay, gives a pat to Declan Rice, and I think the play will continue. I don't think this seems to be a worrying injury, but it seems there's something he pulled up in. And Sextus the Vampire, is this a different commentator than the NBA? Yes, so my brother and Oz have been doing the NBA games. I also typically do it with them, but I have sort of not found my niche, but I enjoy doing the football matches. And also, it works out for both of them because they're timing wise. Having the later games for me is not always the best. So we all kind of switch around, have different commentators for the games, what fits our schedules and what doesn't. Back ball here for Boyata. Boyata will get into Denayer to Castagne. Denayer to Boyata. Yeah, I do. I do call football, so I don't call it soccer. Don't worry. And De Bruyne here is going to be it. He's going to have running at the defense here. De Bruyne passes the ball in, tries to look for Carrasco, but it's cut out there. I think, to be honest with you, I feel like both of the attackers there just went different ways, and De Bruyne really did not have much of a chance. And the ball's going to be played in behind here. A really bad back pass from Alderweireld, but Mignolet plays sweeper, keeper gets the ball out. Now it's back to De Bruyne. Olmo plays a poor ball again for Carrasco. I think he was in there. It was between him and Lukaku, and the defender was able to get there. Wasn't able to see who it was. And the ball's just kind of ping-ponging around here. Rashford's going to get a step on here, and Rashford's he's pushing forward. Mount in the middle. No ball in for Mount. Rashford plays the ball for Henderson. Henderson tries to play it first time. Flicks it over to Lewin. Lewin takes a shot. Not enough power on it. Mignolet is going to be falling on it and defends it there. No, Sterling currently is not playing, not starting or playing for England right now. I think he was in the selection, but I still think he's on the bench, or there is something more to it, but I'm not sure. He's not on the pitch currently. This was a slightly different England selection than most times. Castagne gives it back to Denayer. Yeah, it's also Harry Kane's not starting as well, so there's a few changes, a little different lineup. There was a lot of changes also from the friendly that was played earlier in the week. I think it was on Thursday or Wednesday. Alderweireld, Harry Kane is somewhat healthy, I would have to say. I don't think he's 110% to like play through an entire match. And I don't think Tottenham would want him to play through an entire match for England, but he definitely is. He's definitely better than he was, is what I would have to say. So he's improving, but I don't think he can get through a full 90 minutes. And the ball here is Pickford's going to have to clear this one, as we saw Harrison, the Leeds United player, I think it's Jack Harrison, getting ready to come onto the pitch here for England. Hyperia here with a comment here asking, or a question here asking what my opinion on Romelu Lukaku leaving Manchester United is. I actually think Manchester United right now could use someone like Romelu Lukaku, which is pretty interesting. But in general, what I read and what I understand from Lukaku, things just were not necessarily going to plan what he expected. He wasn't necessarily enjoying life there as much. He wasn't getting all the necessarily goals he was typically getting, and he wanted a move. He was able to get the move down to Italy, and I think for him it worked out. Personally, he's one of the leading goal scorers in the Serie A, doing extremely well in the Serie A as well. But in general, I think for Man U, I don't think it was you had to pay him pretty high amount of wages, et cetera. But I mean, he wasn't producing for you. Granted, maybe there's more other problems that are there for Manchester United than necessarily just Lukaku not playing well. But that is kind of just my opinion. I think they could kind of use him right now. I still think Manchester United is still sort of in the rebuilding stages after Sir Alex Ferguson. And after there, we were able to see Harry Kane put the England shirt on, and he's going to be trotting onto the pitch here at Texas, as we said. Kane somewhat getting better, but still, I don't think 100% fit. So I think he's going to get on here and get a good 25-minute run in and see how he feels. Hopefully, for the Spurs fan, he gets through this one untouched. Walker back to Dyer. Yes, we do have a. Ball's gonna the long ball here is gonna fall to Mount. Or England possibly is going to be able to get an attack here going. Rashford gets the ball over here to Arnold. Arnold's going to play a ball in behind, trying to find. It's going to find Mount at the edge of the box. Mount's going to take a shot with his right foot, and it's going to end up being a goal. It gets deflected, and it falls into the net for Mason Mount, someone that I was saying that was not doing very well at the beginning of the match. He takes a shot. It's a cross-field ball from Alexander-Arnold that ends up falling and ends up to the feet of Mason Mount. He takes a right-footed shot, and it was deflected into the goal. To be honest with you, nothing Simon Mignolet really could do. Rashford here, we're seeing the replay, finds Arnold. Arnold plays a nice ball. It's for Trippier. Trippier heads it right back to Mount, and then Mount just comes over, steps on his right foot, takes a swing at it, curls it. It goes off of, I think, this is not Alderweireld. It goes off of Witzel's knee, I think. Or no, it goes off of Alderweireld's foot and just, goes right over Mignolet. Mignolet has no chance. It's just bad luck. I don't know what to say. Like, if you're Belgium, it's just really poor luck. But if you're England in this situation, hey, take the luck you can get, right? This is kind of what I said before. I think England still has goals in them. They can get these lucky chances. They're still checking for offside, says 1-1. No, it should be. The reason why I think the score hasn't changed is because they're doing the subs right now. So that's why. So Harry Kane is able to come onto the pitch for Calvert-Lewin. Sorry, it wasn't Harrison. It was Phillips who comes onto the pitch, the Leeds United player. Also, if you guys are enjoying the content or anything like that and like hanging out and chat, want to know when we go live and do other sports, just drop a follow on Twitch or drop a sub on YouTube, and you'll always be notified. So thank you very much for everybody in chat hanging out so far today. It's been a really good match. We still got 25 minutes left to go. So excited for this finish here, as Belgium's most likely going to try to put on the pressure to get this equalizer and still maintain at the top of the group. And Romelu Lukaku is able to get a ball in there, but the cross finds nobody. Good defense there by England, and I think this is going to not be a foul. It is not. Carrasco still gets the ball for Castagne. Castagne is going to play it in with his left foot. Oh, Trippier does a really good job not even getting that into his own net or anywhere close to it. Good clearance for him. I think he had someone on his back hip. Good corner kick, good defense there. And then Belgium here is going to try to get as many corners as England. They've kind of been slacking in that department. KDB with the cross in. It'll fall it's over the head of everybody and just falls to Walker. This is a pretty poor situation if England's maybe going to get a counterattack here. Phillips with a really nice ball in for Rice to send them on the counterattack. Rashford still going on the line, but I think he's going to be offside, but maybe someone played him. No, I think it was actually Carrasco at the bottom that played him onside. They will retain possession here. England. Phillips with a nice ball over out to Trippier to continue spreading the play out, not just going only narrow. I think there'd be, the other, or the NBA will be played today 100% at 7:30. I think we'll be streaming that. I'm not sure if I'm doing that or it's going to be the same commentators that did it on Saturday as well, or on Friday as well. So it may be Oz and Ritz that do that game, as try to split up the time as much so we don't get, so we'll definitely be bringing you the NBA Finals. That's for sure. Castagne gets it back to Denier. Here, Belgium, no changes. Roberto Martinez hasn't made a switch here yet, but here Boyata with the ball gets it to Denier. Carrasco is coming far back on the pitch. I think he's been able to moved the ball up here. Or actually, no, that was Castani who moved up further up the pitch and kind of switched positions with them, trying to play around with this England defense right now. Lukaku gets the ball to Castagna. Castagna on Dyer, guarded by Dyer, and then Dyer, I think, gets the best of him. No, he doesn't. It's a Belgium throw-in. Tielemans plays the ball, switch the play over to Alderweireld. Alderweireld will get the ball to Meunier. Meunier to De Bruyne. Nice 1-2. Meunier continues his run. De Bruyne tries to play a ball, but a little too much for him and doesn't get it there. Good idea from De Bruyne. Roberto Martinez seems this is you got the subs walking around all next to him, but he's still. Or it looks like he's looking up and talking to someone. I think he's going to have to make a change here. I mean, I think he does have to make a change to be able to get back into the match 100%. I mean, granted, they're playing pretty well right now, but I do think to get fully back in this one, I think a change will be necessary for Martinez. Boyata plays a ball back to Mignolet, and Mignolet needs to kind of come out and get that one a little bit. Tielemans gets it back to Boyata, that all the way back up. Oh, no, that was not Boyata. That was Denier. Sorry. Now it's Denier to Castagna here for the left wing back. Castagna is going to have some space. He's going to move over. Phillips comes up to cut him off, then gets it over to Carrasco. Carrasco then over to De Bruyne. De Bruyne plays a really nice ball in there for Castagna. Castagna crosses it. Oh, nobody's there. Lukaku made a different type of run. He made it to the near post, not the far post. Oh, and he totally would have been able to nick that goal there. Just kind of not much of a communication error. It's typically in football here, you just kind of hit the ball into space and you kind of hope the person makes a run. But unfortunately, they were not on the same page there. But really beautiful pass there from Kevin De Bruyne to open up the England back line and put Castagna behind the defense. And Lukaku just ends up making the near post run instead of the far post run. De Bruyne once again with the ball. Edge of the box, gets it to Castagna, both the two linking up. Vertonghen's kind of I'm not sure if he's necessarily still in the squad, but I know for Spurs he doesn't play for Spurs anymore. He's kind of moved on. He's kind of aged himself out of the team. Is kind of what I would say. And also at the same time, he doesn't really when you're playing a back three with Alderweireld, it's not necessarily the greatest thing. In a lot of positions, he was actually put as the left and right back for Belgium, which is not his natural position at all. So I think sort of going with the younger players, and it's also to keep in mind, right, that the Euros and such is still in a year or two, and the World Cup is like still in a couple years. And at that point, Alderweireld's probably going to be like 27, 20, or he's going to be like 38, 30. He's going to be older. Probably, maybe his international career is over. Not necessarily sure. Maybe a possible Spurs fan may know that that followed him, but that's just kind of my assumption that they want to get the younger players that most likely will be playing in the World Cup and the Euros and everything. What a ball from Kevin De Bruyne! Oh my God! And Carrasco just misses it, but he was offside. Either way. The offside flag was up apparently, but this ball from De Bruyne, it's an outside of the football. No, he's totally outside. He's totally outside. Carrasco just misses. He's one-on-one with Pickford. Granted, it's a pretty tough finish, but that outside of the boot run there, and then all he has to do is just try to flick it past Pickford. He just flicks it and doesn't get enough on it to center it towards goal. Not taking the chances once again, Belgium. Kevin De Bruyne's going to be the one coming off the pitch here. And then Verscharian, not sure on the name. De Bruyne, I don't think wants to come off the pitch here at all. And he's having a word with Martinez. But to be honest with you, I think the conversation is more of, or I think the reason why he's coming on the pitch is they don't want him to play more than 72 minutes. At least Manchester City does, and other players don't really want him to play more than that. So there may be a decision to take him off the pitch. But I mean, if I was Belgium trying to win the match, I would totally keep him on. Especially for Tanganga. Yeah, Tanganga's playing really well. Or for Spurs, he came through the academy there, and actually has been stepping up and doing really well. That's why I think that's also one of the reasons why for Tongan's departure. I don't know if you ever watched the All or Nothing documentary on what's it called, on Amazon Prime, but it followed the Spurs for a while, and it goes into a lot of the kind of the different players, the attitudes, and all that type of stuff. So it's very neat. I would definitely check it out if you're a Spurs fan or even just a football fan. I'm a Liverpool fan. I watched it and thought it was really good. Rashford here, Munier went in with a pretty hard challenge on him and actually, well, Munier misses everything, actually. He misses the ball, and then Rashford jumps over him. So there's nothing happened here. It's just embellishment, I guess. I don't know. On the replay, it doesn't. There's no contact that was made, so I don't necessarily know what was happening here. But hey. And for Scarron, definitely saying his name wrong. Coming on for Kevin De Bruyne, kind of playing that number 10 role and playing the balls in behind and trying to find the space. Castagne here once again going to get the ball back from Denayer. Belgium more the team like England in the first half, having more trouble playing out from the back and getting their players involved. There were a few strings of passes and a few really good jobs there from Belgium with De Bruyne. And a really nice ball in behind here. Lukaku's in one-on-one with Pickford. Lukaku wasn't one-on-one. Sorry, the defense did get back. Arnold takes the deflection and heads it away for another England corner, or a Belgium corner here. This is a beautiful ball played in here for Munier that just drops right in between both center back of Walker and Dyer, and then Lukaku tries to get onto his favored left foot, and both of them get in front of him to be able to block the shot, and then Arnold heads it away. Here, the corner kick from Carrasco. It's going to go up. It's going to go. Almost finds its way to Lukaku, still up in the air. Munier or Alderweireld tries to get it under control, and then he tries to turn around and volley it out of the air. So that one just goes sky high. As we get a picture of the Belgian coach or assistant coach. That's Roberto Martinez. Maguire back to Pickford. Pickford clears the ball out, going to try to find the head of Rashford. Not able to find that. Alderweireld sends it all the way back to Mignolet, who's had to be good with his feet today. You'd have to say he really hasn't had much chance to save many of the goals. The penalty, he was sent the wrong way. And then the actual goal that came from Mason Mount was a deflected one that, I mean, you honestly couldn't have kicked it any better than the way it was deflected, go right over Mignolet's head. So it was pretty much perfect and unfortunate there for Mignolet. Tielemans plays a ball out to find Munier here, getting Belgium further up the pitch. Nice 1-2 there. And then the ball finds to Alderweireld, who plays it really beautiful diagonal. It's going to find Lukaku in the middle of the box. Lukaku's going to try to take a shot, takes it with the right foot, but it's deflected. Belgium getting the shots in goal here, or getting the shots on target. And then Carrasco, byline, goes for the cross, out for a corner kick. The pressure is mounting here for England. Belgium is definitely playing it on them right now with a few changes from England, few changes from Belgium here. But the pressure is mounting. Carrasco with the ball in here. Plays a nice ball, beats the first man. Pickford comes out, misses it completely, falls to Lukaku, doesn't. He's not able to control. Arnold with the clearance out to the byline, or to the midway point. And then it will follow Munier back to Mignolet, then to Castagne. And Christopher Gonzalez here in chat saying the Lakers are going to be winning tonight. Yes, some NBA finals we have tonight here at 7:30. Should be a good one. And then we have Boyata come over from Denayer to Castagne. Alderweireld still kind of looking and probing. Someone is getting ready to come on for England. I just can't see it, and I can't make out who it is per se. But someone is getting ready to come on to the pitch for England. I may not. Real Life Sports may be here. I may not be here, though. That's going to be Reece James coming onto the pitch here, the Chelsea player, if I'm not mistaken, the Chelsea right back coming in on the pitch here. He's going to be coming on for Trent Alexander-Arnold. As I think it was, hold on, who said it? It was Lee Walton actually said this. Yes, this is now one of the 3 right backs that are in the selection to come onto the pitch here. Reece James going to be replacing Trent Alexander-Arnold, which for me, I'm very happy to see. 100%. I want to get him off the pitch, keep him safe for Liverpool. So he played his minutes, got him off, no injuries, all good. Let's keep going. And yeah, yes, Lee Walton, another one that comes onto the pitch, unfortunately, here. But yeah, Reece James comes onto the pitch to replace Trent Alexander-Arnold. Don't fully understand the selection. That's why I still don't really get it. It's like with those Sterling, I don't know. It's just kind of strange. Maybe it's like a hats off, like, hey, you've been doing really well here, take an England cap and kind of go on your way, right? But hey, to each their own, right? The ball is gonna. We still have a game here. It's still have a game for Belgium to come out and try and win. Actually, here, so Boyata here is gonna have Munier with the throw in. Declan Rice falls to him, and then he's going to be able to get the ball back to Maguire. And England's just kind of control this. Carrasco's on the run and sprint to Kyle Walker. Walker sprints back and sends Carrasco the other way. Phillips to Reece James, and then Reece James to Phillips. Phillips plays a nice ball that's going to find Mount, but I think Mount is fighting here with Denayer. Denayer does a really nice job holding off Mount there, not to actually get a foul called on him or anything, but a very good job there. Alderweireld to Witsel. Turns. Carrasco's got space to pass. Guarded. Now spins around Rice. Still Carrasco. Not able to get the ball out from under his feet to Lukaku, but it is going to be a Belgium corner since it wasn't him that actually kicked it out. Carrasco here with another corner from the left side here. Belgium still, once again, mounting the pressure. Carrasco's corners have been pretty good. He's beaten the first man every single time, which is kind of a sticking point for me. If you can't beat the first man, you shouldn't take the corner. Carrasco here, straight to Pickford. Pickford catches very calmly with his 2 hands, tells everybody to calm down, and then immediately throws the ball out to Reece James, one of the right backs here for England, and then kind of to get the attack going. Not enough people forward, and also Belgium have enough players back to kind of create the wall. Rashford, ball up here, and then kind of just controlling the play. England doesn't necessarily need to go out here and score. They want to just kill the game and maintain possession of the ball and draw out as much clock as possible with the 1-0 lead. As I would say, they probably in the second half definitely played a better second half, but Belgium played a better first half. Overall, I would say a 2-2 draw is pretty even, I would have to say for this, but here Pickford's going to play a long ball out here from Marcus Rashford. Afterburners are on. It'll fall to Rashford as Alderweireld kind of lost sight of the ball in the air. Harry Kane. That's almost Kane's first touch. The first time I said his name. Mount's going to take a shot. It's going to be deflected. It's going to go out for a corner kick for England. This is now their 8th. Let's say. Southgate happy, loving the intensity and the drive still from the squad. And then Kieran Trippier is going to take his gorgeously lovely time to actually get to the corner flag, take as much time as possible. Dyer still coming up. Maguire still coming up. It honestly looks like Maguire's haircut was made with a bowl this time. It looks quite terrible. Kieran Trippier here with the corner. Oh, Kane had a free header. Oh, Harry Kane. Got to score that one. Put that one away there, buddy. Trippier comes in. Kane's literally unguarded on the 6-yard box, on the 6-yard line, and misses the header. Maybe it's just not being... I mean, Kane scores that 9 out of 10 times. 10 out of 10 times, honestly. He probably does score it. Be 100% honest with you. I've never seen him miss such an open header like that. That's insane. Such a clinical player. Carrasco is going to come off the pitch here. Played a pretty good game so far. And then Doku's going to come on and replace him. What are your opinion on Liverpool new signings? I think they're really good. I think Thiago comes in and puts a really good competition in the midfield. I think the whole squad in general has been pretty casual and I think not trying as hard. kind of just comfortable knowing they're going to get the place in the squad and on the starting sheet every single time. So I think it's a really good job from Klopp getting Thiago in, add something completely new to our midfield, and also like pretty much a world-class signing. Right as he comes out of the pitch here, Dota is going to be adjudged offside. I also think Jota is a really good back option for our front three, and he's also really 20. He's only 23, so he'll be here for a really long time. We'll have him through his best parts of his career. He's only going to get necessarily better. I still think we need a defensive cover, and I still think we need a new second goalkeeper. So, but overall, I think Costas plays pretty well. We saw in the League Cup, he's pretty comfortable. He's a good cover for Andy Robertson, something that we needed. But we still need center back cover, and we also need a new second choice goalkeeper. Pickford here with the goal kick. Oh, up to Kane, and then Kane heads it to Rashford, and then Mount's going to have the possession of the ball, but Casati does a really good job to win it off him and then draw the foul from Mount. Mignolet, the ball eventually gets it to Boyata, who's guarded there by Harry Kane. Now Belgium running out of time here. It's got 6 minutes left to find an equalizer here. Kane to Boyata. And also apologies if you also did subscribe on the YouTube side. I see that we had a few more subscriptions on the YouTube side, but unfortunately, Marcus Rashford here is going to be at the edge of the box. He's going to take a shot and sky it all the way across the English Channel. That was quite poor there from Marcus Rashford. But yes, we did get 3 new subs on YouTube, so I apologize. That doesn't pop up for me on Streamlabs for some reason, so I can't shout you guys out, but I really do appreciate that. Thank you for hanging out with us in the stream and also in chat. We're going to be doing the finals tonight. So that will be come back to the channel for the NBA Finals here at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Rashford there with the take, and should have been putting the game away and to bed for that one right there. Boyata to Denayer. Tielemans, could have played a ball in there for Castagne. Belgium needs to push up the pitch further. Dota back to Denayer, then to Boyata. Alderweireld. Dota try to play the back heel there, but I don't think that's necessarily the time for it. But does get the ball back from Reece James. Reece James trying to not let him go and plays a pretty hard foul. The advantage is going to be played. Nice ball in here. Lukaku, he turns on his right, gets the ball out for Witsel. Witsel needs to play it to Munier so Munier can cross it in. It was a poor ball, and Trippier is going to be able to get there, and Munier is not going to get anything in. Trippier plays it off Munier, but then Trippier gets it back and clears it away. Kane up there, and then Kane is going to draw the foul from Boyata. He was waiting for that one, and Kane was going to go over the second the contact came. And then Jadon Sancho is going to get a show on the pitch here. So speaking, if you're a Manchester United fan, this is probably someone you don't want to see. As Manchester United was covered, or basically said the whole summer they were going to sign Jadon, and they ended up not signing Jadon Sancho. Dortmund not letting him go for, I think it was under 90 million or 100 million. So tough luck if you're a Man U fan. Munier here with the header back from Alderweireld, and then Alderweireld will get the ball back to Mignolet. Alderweireld to Munier, then to Boyata, then to Witsel, to Weireld. Still need to continue pushing up the pitch. Tielemans trying to pull the strings here for the midfield. Tielemans plays it back. Denayer. England very England playing like Belgium did in the first half, not really letting anything go through the midfield. The long ball is going to be played up to Lukaku, which I did think possibly could have been a handball. His shoulder was up there pretty high, but then this will be cleared out by England. Find all the way to Mignolet, then to Denier, then back to Castagne. Denier, Tielemans. Witzel was open, decided not to pass to it, which Witzel was also pretty confused about. Tielemans. Tielemans plays it again, back to the center, back to Alderweireld. Still 2 minutes. Nothing. Belgium not doing anything with the possession. They still need a goal here to tie this one up and keep possession of their first place in League A Group 2. Doku could have been fouled there by Reece James, but the foul doesn't come out. Mason Mount will be replaced here by Jadon Sancho. The still Dortmund player. This is another look at Mason Mount's goal here. Mignolet, he cuts on his right foot, and then it goes off of Alderweireld's top of the foot, and then Mignolet just turns, looks at it, and just rolls his eyes, knowing that there is nothing he could have done to save that ball there, 100%. Nothing he could have done. It's pretty unlucky there for Alderweireld, and also just the general Belgium team. I actually think they played pretty decently, but I do think England's played a better second half. Belgium definitely played a better first half. And they got pretty lucky with the pretty soft penalty called on Jordan Henderson, not going to lie. So Munier plays the ball into Tielemans, but it's only going to find Phillips in the middle of the field. And then Phillips back to Walker to Sancho. Sancho, possession, and then he's going to run the ball out of play, run out of space for himself. Denier to Witzel. Witzel back up to Boyata. And Alderweireld. And then I don't say his name because I'm going to butcher it. So I feel so bad. And then Boyata sends a ball too far for Doku, who's not able to run on. It's going to go out of play. There are 4 minutes of added time here for Belgium to see if they can go get a goal. Roberto Martinez doesn't necessarily look very convinced that they can get a goal, though. Phillips back to Walker, to Reece James, then to Phillips. Ball's going to be in behind here. Denier needs to deal with it. He does. Tielemans, it falls to Tielemans, and to Witzel, to Castagne. Castagne plays a ball in behind here, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be deemed offside, and it is. Nice run there by Verm. I'll just call him Verm. Gareth Southgate patrolling the technical area with his puffy jacket. That has more advertising than the entire stadium does have on it. 3 minutes left here for added time, and England looks to be in position to take this game and actually go top of the group with a head-to-head victory here against Belgium. They're going to go 7 points here, and they'll be one above here, Belgium, but Belgium will still have the advantage on goal difference, but still, points-wise, England will be above them in the League 1 Group 2. Is that League 1 Group 2? Yeah, League A Group 2 group stage for the Nations League. Ball's going to go out of play. Actually, Rashford does a fantastic job playing that ball back out on Toby. Trippier here is going to have the throw in, I think. Yep, Trippier will have the throw in here. 2 minutes left in this match here. It's been a very exciting match between both of these sides. Relive Sports' first international match, and it has been a fantastic one. So thank you for everybody that's been hanging out. It's been a really entertaining match. It's been through and through. It hasn't been a snoozer. It's been actually had some pretty good quality as well. So keep that in mind. I know people do critique international football for having less quality, which I also do 100% agree with. I think the quality is a lot less in international football. But today we've been proven wrong. It's been a very good match between both of these really good international sides. Also, if you want to know when we will be doing more games or when we go live, please click the follow button on Twitch or just the subscribe button on YouTube, and you'll be notified when we go live. We'll be doing the NBA Finals tonight at 7:30, and then we will also be doing Italy versus the Netherlands at 2:45 on Wednesday Eastern time. So we'll be doing that team, and I will be a little more invested in that one as Italy is my international squad, I would have to say, that I do support, and also a very good Dutch team with Van Dijk and others in it as well. So it will be really fun to watch that match. We'll take that one here for a Wednesday at 2:45. Lee Walton, thanks very much, sir. I appreciate it. Hopefully, we'll see you all again soon. And I'll definitely be trying to stick with the England matches. Most of the England matches are actually against pretty large teams and other international teams, so they're pretty good. It's been pretty fun to watch. And I know there's a lot of banter that goes on between in England about the England national team, so definitely something to be involved in and see to move forward. Mounier plays a ball here. Dyer is going to be able to clear it out. Dyer recovering pretty nicely from his first mistake into the match here. It was an early mistake onto Romelu Lukaku that ended up turning the ball over and getting England a penalty kick to start, or getting Belgium a penalty kick, excuse me, early in the match here. But he's recovered well, played well at center back so far, other than that one small mistake. Harry Kane coming on the pitch here for the last 20 minutes. Haven't really called his name. And that will be it, ladies and gentlemen. The UEFA Nations League match is going to be won here by Gareth Southgate and the England men here. And this will take them to the top of the group. Besting Belgium here. Belgium definitely had more of the chances in the first half. They needed to take those chances. They had more clear-cut chances and more chances at legit the goal. Carrasco was, I would say, culpable of not putting away the two obvious chances and blatant clear-cut chances. Unfortunately, hopefully for him and for Belgium, they'll be able to fix those moving forward. Rashford with a penalty to slotted away. Fantastic penalty, but also kind of a soft penalty given that was on Jordan Henderson. Then Mount with the deflected finish that ended up going to the net. That pretty much bested Simeon Mignolet and didn't really have much to do there, as you see two ex-teammates, Alderweireld and Dyer, speaking to each other and having some nice words. So thank you from everybody here at Real Life Sports. Really appreciate all the support, the help in chat, all of that. If you enjoyed the content, please click the subscribe button on YouTube or the follow button on Twitch, and you'll know when we go live. We'll be bringing you the NBA Finals tonight at 7:30, and we also will be bringing you the Italy and Netherlands match on Wednesday at 2:45 Eastern time. Thank you very much, everybody, and have a blessed day and have a great end of your Sunday. And if you also have Monday off on Columbus Day, also enjoy that and continue enjoying your long weekend. Thank you very much, everybody, and have a